My man Rupert with the biblical conspiracies. And y'all know I do like Rupert. Rupert has come a long way. But Rupert is saying that Coach Cain is not Adam's son. He is not in Adam's genealogy. And that Seth is seen as Adam's first son. 1 John 3. Now that's Cain, who was of that wicked one. And see, it's who was of that wicked one is where people think that, oh, he must have been born from the seed of the serpent, because the serpent is considered the wicked one, because people take the serpent, Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, the devil, and make it into one being, which they are not one being at all. These are separate ideas and separate entities of how the people thought at that time frame in that day. But when it's saying of the wicked, of that wicked one, it is not talking about his heritage. It is talking about the actions that he did and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? And wherefore slew he him? It's a question mark. Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. If you were to take that in consideration, and you did say he was of that wicked one, then it would make more sense, as the Sethians and a lot of the Gnostics say, that Cain, who present this serpent seed theory, that Cain would have been from the serpent and Abel would be Adam's first son, yet he was murdered. But then, as the Bible says clearly, Abel was the son of Adam and Eve, and Seth was born as a replacement. This is what Eve says: God has given me a replacement for Abel, right? But the Bible actually clearly says that Adam knew his wife, meaning they had sex, and she conceived a son and named him Cain. If you're going to go with the serpent seed theory, you have to cognitively ignore that in Genesis, I think it's Genesis 3, it's 3 or 4. I mean, 4 is the Cain kill Abel story. So it's Genesis 3. That in Genesis 3, it clearly says that Cain is the son of Adam and Eve. Now, I don't believe the stories to be true at all. The entire thing is a mythos. We know that people existed long before Adam and Eve, and we know people existed long before the 7 days of creation. We also know that Genesis 2 was written before Genesis 1, and Genesis 1 is trying to give more details of what happened in Genesis 2, even though they got some of the information wrong or contradicted. I'm not saying wrong, they contradicted some of the information in Genesis 2. Like, Adam was created before the animals. Genesis 1, the animals are created before Adam. Genesis 2, everything was created in one day. Genesis 1, it was a 6-day creation. So there are some contradictions within the two stories, but they are not meant to be two separate creation stories. So there weren't people, according to the Bible myth, before Adam and Eve. They were truly supposed to be the first two people. And so who Cain marries, he marries his sister. Because after Seth was born, Cain, they had many sons and daughters, but it doesn't really get into all those specifics. So people just make the assumption. But the Gnostics, who thought that Yahweh was a demiurge, that Yahweh was Yaldabaoth, an evil God who created our matter universe without the permission of the Pleroma and the help of the Sophia, and whose aim was to have people worship him and prevent souls from being able to rejoin the Pleroma. So thereby, by gaining knowledge, you are able to regain your sense of enlightenment and rejoin the Pleroma. This was their thought process. So then when they looked at the evil works of Cain being the first murderer and being jealous, I hate sneezing, and being jealous of his brother Abel's offering, so they thought, by utilizing 1 John, that, oh, he must be the seed of the serpent, which is even worse than being the seed of Yahweh. Now, there are some, I believe the Sethians, have a similar teaching. But as I said before, then you are picking and choosing. I didn't say this before, but I'm saying it now. You are now picking and choosing what aspects of the Bible you accept and what aspects of the Bible you don't accept. Now, for me, if the tree is rotten, then the whole goddamn, no matter what the fruit look like, is rotten too. Is no good. Is not worth consuming. So that is why the Bible is something that is put away, done away with. If you wanted to come up with a new version of theology, I would do it without any reference to the Bible itself. That I would not try to renegotiate biblical texts in order to make it fit into whatever new narrative that I'm creating. Kind of like the gentleman that I spoke with last week about the Eurythrian, whatever it was, Eurythrian. I was struggling that day too. Instead of trying to reform the church like his book is trying to do by a gentleman by Sadler from the 1950s, instead of trying to reform the church and like Martin Luther in the 1500s, just start over. Just start over. Why hold on to Cain? Why hold on to Jesus? Why? Because they're more commonly known. So it makes you feel better. You think more people will join you because of that? Shit, Scientology just started brand new, fresh. Aliens in the volcano. And they rolled with it. And look at where they are now. So Rupert, let Cain go. Let the Christians have him. Let the Jews have him. Let the Muslims have him. Start your own shit. Create your own thing. Look at L. Ron Hubbard and what he did. You seen them Scientology buildings? Do your own thing, man. Stop holding on to some mythological bullshit. So like, share, and comment. And y'all have a great day. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.